Kids almost heading back to school. I can't believe Labor Day weekend is coming up.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're still shopping for school supplies and your child wants to stand out, Matt will have some tips from the experts.
And not only are we counting down the unofficial end to summer, but we're also counting down until Wingfest, which happens this weekend. We're continuing with Wing Week here on Winging Up Buffalo Style. Chef Scotty is in the kitchen. We're so happy he's back, making, I think, like 4 different kinds of wings I heard in the cut-in.
Yeah, 4 different kinds.
Pretty
I'm anxious to try them.
Yeah.
And speaking of Wing Week, I'm sure that you've heard about this one. The birthplace of the wing, the Anchor Bar, is actually looking to expand. And Business First reports that the Anchor Bar plans to open a franchise at a mall in Hamilton, Ontario, and it should be open by this November. So that's pretty cool.
You know, we have such a good relationship with our neighbors to the north. They come here, they do their shopping, we're bringing our wings up there.
I appreciate, them bringing like Tim Hortons down here.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm stopping there on a daily basis, so.
I have to say, when I'm giving a shout out to Tim Hortons, you can see our mugs here always on the set. I love their steeped tea. You don't have the tea bag, they actually steep it. So I think that'll be nice, though, to have Anchor Bar up to the north. You know, expansion is always good, and it's good to see that, you know, not only are Canadians coming over here, bringing themselves, bringing things like Tim Hortons, Spot Coffee, we're also bringing things up there, like Anchor Bar. And you went to Anchor Bar.
Yeah, I was there last weekend and had wings. I had the spicy barbecue and had the hot. They were great. But, you know, I think that really in Buffalo, there's so many great places to go for wings.
Yes,
Anchor Bar is just
absolutely.
one of the many.
Right. Well, a place you definitely have to take visiting guests like your parents. You know, it's just kind of a staple of Buffalo.
Yes, they had a lot of fun.
Yeah, what did they think of Western New York?
They had so much fun. We did the wine trail, the Niagara County wine trail. We did a little taste test with the wings. We also went to Duff, since that's the big debate. And I won't share which one they liked best because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but you know, everybody has their favorites.
Okay, we're going to move along now. Well, one of the biggest events at Wingfest is, of course, the wing eating contest. So we had to get this story, and then happened over the weekend. Not dealing with wings, but it is dealing with an eating contest. This one involving hot dogs. And competitive eating champ Kobayashi ate 110 hot dogs in 10 minutes at the fair in Syracuse. Now, if that sounds like a lot to you, well, it does. It is a lot. I mean, but also the hot dogs were not inside buns. Now, 110 is likely a world record, but the hot dog company was unsure if there are current records for bunless hot dogs, and Kobayashi has never competed in the Buffalo Wing Contest, but he did eat 137 wings at the wing eating contest at the Super Bowl last year. And further eating competitive facts dealing with wings, last year's champs at the Buffalo Wing Fest were Kobayashi's rival Joey Chestnut and Sonia Thomas, the Black Widow. 110 hot dogs. Ugh.
That sounds disgusting.
I'm good with one.
You know, and I think,
one.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, wings, I think they have to be a little bit more difficult to eat, you know, because you have to deal with the bone, right?
Yeah.
Or do they get boneless ones for the eating contest?
No, I think they do have bone ones. But as far as the hot dogs go, at least, you know, he was being healthy-minded, skipping out on the carbs, going a little Atkins diet with the 110. So it'll be interesting to see now, you know, if they're going to start doing the bunless eating contest. I would think if you're in an eating contest, it would probably be easier just to eat a hot dog than to have kind of that soggy bun. I don't know. I don't think that.
And
would
Lauren
be very
was just
appetizing.
saying that they actually weigh the wings.
Oh, yes, and that's how they know. I think they do the before and after weight, I think is what they do. That would make the most sense at least.
Yes. All right, you're right. And speaking of eating contests and even eating meat at all, it may be one day a thing of the past. At least that's what some scientists in Sweden claim, that by the year 2050, there will not be enough water available to sustain our eating habits of meat. A new report published by the Stockholm International Water Institute says the world's population will have to cut their meat intake considerably to accommodate the planet's water deficits. 70% of the world's usable water goes toward agriculture, mainly to livestock, and depletion resources might not allow populations to continue farming animals. And one of the solutions to curb the water deficits, become a vegetarian. A meat-free diet uses 10 times less water to produce than one containing animal products.
Very interesting.
You know, I hope that's not the case. By 2050, I mean, that seems like pretty soon, doesn't it?
Pretty imminent, right. You know, people always ask what are thoughts on global warming. I just have to throw this in there. Whether or not you think one way or the other about global warming, the fact is our society does use non-renewable resources, and they're called non-renewable for a reason. They're non-renewable. So we do have to think about these things, and we need to come up with solutions to have a more sustainable lifestyle that we can pass on to further generations. I don't think, you know, telling somebody to become a vegetarian might be a little bit extreme, but maybe try eating meat, you know, only once a week, or cutting back on that intake, or, you know, make sure, like, you eat local, stuff like that, to kind of reduce the fact of the wastefulness that we sometimes, indulge in.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to see, how they came up with their research and how they came to the conclusion of 2050. I mean, it's just an interesting study altogether.
And also, an interesting thing I always say is living by the Great Lakes is one day that going to become highly sought after, because so much of the world's fresh water is contained right here. So will people want to move here when water maybe does become a concern and they want to be by such a large fresh water source? So something to keep into mind. Buffalo, it might have a huge population increase many years down the road, I think, because of that. It'll be something interesting to see.
Yes.